Behind me here is what we in Chattanooga affectionately call Ross's Landing. I do apologize for all the noise around me. I've got birds chirping and I've got cars passing by under a bridge, and I'm sure that this audio is awful. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about Ross's Landing and Chattanooga in general and give you just a little bit of a history lesson. We're going to come back here at the end of this video. One of the things that I really like about the aquarium is that it is tied directly to the history of the Cherokee people here at Ross's Landing. Ross's Landing was here before Chattanooga. In fact, there was a Cherokee name for it that I cannot pronounce. I'm going to put it up here on the screen for you now. But the white men who came here to trade at the trading post of John Ross, who was the chief of the Cherokee Nation at that time, they sort of white person materialized the name into Chattanooga. And Chattanooga simply means the end of the mountain or the spear tip of the mountain. And it refers to Lookout Mountain back here in the background, which you can't see, but it comes all the way down here to the river. This is one of the things that I do like about Chattanooga, is that it, even with its storied past of being part of the removal of the Cherokee Nation through the Trail of Tears, today it does try to honor the legacy of the Cherokee people who were here long before we were. The Trail of Tears started over at Red Clay State Park, and they marched through here, through Ross's Landing. They were towed across the river, where they continued to march on, I think, to Oklahoma, maybe beyond. But this was the place where they crossed the Tennessee River at Ross's Landing, which later became named Chattanooga, the tip of the mountain. One of the things they've done here at the aquarium is to add this waterfall as an art exhibit beside the buildings. And it starts at a tiny trickle up at the top and begins to cascade down more and more and more as it represents the Trail of Tears. There are 5 ceramic pieces of art in the wall that all implement something to do with the Cherokee history. When you get down to the bottom, there is an art exhibit here of stickball being played by the Cherokee. That's how old that sport is. And one of my favorite pieces is this little installation right here behind me, which is 7 water cannons that shoot up into a fountain. Now, it's been shut down for a long time, evidently. I've come down here several times kind of waiting for it to work. And I was told by a friend of mine that it's been out of commission for years, so I don't know what they're doing with it. But it shoots up this cannon of water to remind us of the 7 nations of the Cherokee people who came to this crossing and crossed the river here on the Trail of Tears. So there's a lot of history to be had right down here on the waterfront. So when you see me talking about Ross's Landing, this is what I'm talking about. The John Ross Landing that was later renamed accidentally to Chattanooga. And there you have the history. Well, it feels kind of good to be back in maybe the flow of things again. This video, I almost changed my mind and said, it's too noisy here to continue. I had a guy that was pressure washing the sidewalk over by the statue of the Cherokee Indian.
I had a guy that was operating a small jackhammer over outside the aquarium. And you hear all of that stuff. And I just decided I would try to record audio away from it as far as I could and then decrease that noise as much as possible. But I didn't run any of my audio through Adobe Podcast Enhance. I just left the narration straight out of the camera. So you hear all that in the background. And again, I just sort of decided that, you can't wait for perfect conditions every time you want to make a video. And today was one of those times. I could have gone somewhere else and done a completely different video today, but I wanted to do this one. The other thing that I was disappointed in fact, I've been downtown 3 or 4 different times to try to do this video, and that 7-cannon fountain in the river wasn't working. And I was talking about that to a friend of mine, Phil Thatch, who said, well, that hasn't been working in years. And my lights just went out. I don't know what's going on with these lights. And so I thought, well, how did I not know that? I guess maybe I've only paid attention in the winter months. I don't know. So anyway, I've done some research. I can't figure out why it's shut down. I don't know if it's like needing to be repaired or if it was costing too much money, or I don't know. If somebody knows, leave me a comment and let me know. But other than that, I like, the way everything sort of flowed together and the cuts in the video and that kind of thing. I will say I started to spend more time filming the waterfall scene, but a mom showed up with a couple of kids because a lot of people play there in that water throughout the summer. In fact, another family showed up after I was already done. And I didn't want to spend a lot of time with the kids in the video. I didn't want her to think that I was, trying to do something untoward. And so I just got what I got and then moved on. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you again for helping us reach 1,000. If you haven't watched yesterday's video with the free giveaway, I'm only putting that link in that video. That link is only good until Wednesday of next week, which is June 5th, I believe. And then that link will go away. So be sure you've checked that out, and we will see you again tomorrow.